Is Jun-ho okay, and what is he finding in the sea? Although Jun-ho is at last safe, the thought of his brother, also known as the Frontman, shooting him still bothers him. 2 years later, in addition to becoming a traffic police officer, he is searching for the enigmatic island where the games are held. He tracks down every island that could lead him back to his brother with the assistance of a local fisherman. Unfortunately, he can't and considers abandoning the search. He sees Gi-Hun at a traffic light one day. Gi-Hun, who was on her way to Mr. Kim's place. But as soon as he spots him, he knows that Gi-Hun was able to escape from the last iteration of the games. Consequently, he begins, but as soon as he spots him, he knows that Gi-Hun was able to escape from the last iteration of the games. He therefore obtains his address and begins looking for the car he owns. Netflix's little show, pun intended, called Squid Game took the world by storm in 2021. To be honest, nobody knew what to expect from the show, and there was a lot of mystery surrounding its plot, but as soon as it began airing, it became a huge hit for the streaming service. It broke multiple viewership records and became the most watched Netflix series ever, a record it still holds. Although the show gave viewers a satisfying ending, there were a number of unexplored possibilities for a possible second season. Consequently, Netflix assured viewers that Song Gi-Hun's story would continue and extended the series for a second season. Now that the show has returned with its eagerly awaited second edition after 3 years, the action is more intense, with deeper character development, more stakes, and narrative twists that are sure to keep viewers on the edge of their seats. There was a huge cliffhanger at the end of Squid Game's first season. The first person to ever leave the enigmatic island was Song Gi-Hun, Lee Young-jae, who won the tournament. In the meantime, Jun-ho, Gi-Hun, learns who the Frontman really is and is horrified to learn that his own brother is the mastermind behind these lethal games. Gi-Hun made it plain that he didn't care about the money and that his goal was to permanently ruin the Squid Games, even though he won the competition and a sizable sum of money. Is that something he can accomplish? Things quickly become messy in the first episode of Season 2, which is where the trip starts. Their chairs. A game of rock, paper, scissors, -1, is being played by the salesman. Players take one hand back in this two-handed game of rock, paper, scissors. If they can keep that hand forward and defeat the opponent's hand, they win. There is a catch, though. They will play Russian roulette style. After loading a single bullet into the pistol, the recruiter spins it. He then pulls the trigger after aiming the gun at the loser's head. Thus, the game will be played in such manner. Mr. Kim gives his life when the recruiter initiates the game. However, it appears that the recruiter was not pleased with the decision. Even though Woo-suk isn't shown as dying, it is quite unlikely that the recruiter would have allowed him to live. Another game of Russian roulette B/W Gi-Hun and the recruiter. The recruiter finds Gi-Hun's residence in the last moments of the show. During their interaction, Gi-Hun, player 456, refers to him as a lapdog and states that he wants to speak to his head. The recruiter continues the talk by recounting his journey inside the organization and his time as a guard. Gi-Hun thinks he is still a puppy following commands from his master. Even though he rose up the ranks to become the recruiter becomes enraged by this and is now prepared to play Russian roulette with Gi-Hun. The tension and certainty of the result are significantly increased when he chooses to up the ante and